I just wanted to have a quick chat with you guys before the end of stream, about what the whole reason why the stream even came about. So, this was a mental health awareness stream. It's something that not a lot of people talk about. I mean, a lot of people struggle with mental health, but a lot of people don't mention it, don't talk about it, don't bring it up. And it's a lot of people don't know how to cope with their mental health in a lot of ways. Some people revert to self-harm, sometimes even suicide. I myself have struggled with mental health in a really tough way, including suicidal thoughts, suicidal attempts. There was a time in my life where I had attempted to kill myself 6 times in about a year and a half. I now have a tattoo on my arm to remind me of that, because each time I tried drowning myself in a bathtub. So this tattoo, if you've ever seen it on my arm, you probably do when I wave my arms around. This one is a water drop. Try and show it. It's a water drop with a chain wrapped around it. It's supposed to signify the water is my depression and the struggle, and the chain wrapped around it is to say I've got it on locks. Because, I mean, you've never really gotten rid of mental health, and it's always going to be there. Even today, I struggle with it every now and then. I mean, there was even a couple of points today where I was a bit down and stuff. And I'm just glad that, I had my friends around to bring the mood up a bit. And yeah, pretty much I wanted to take this last little bit of the stream to talk about my mental health a bit and explain why I chose the charity that I chose. So, without knowing it, I've probably been suffering from mental health since the age of 10, and I had basically been bullied my entire life in school, just for being it started out just because I was the new kid. In grade 2, I had my parents moved houses, and in doing that, I couldn't go to the school that I was going to because it was on the other side of town to where we were currently living, and there was no way for me to get to and from school. So they moved me to a place closer to my grandparents' house so I could just walk to their place after school. So because everyone at that school had been there since day 1 of preschool, they all knew each other, they were all good friends. I was the new kid coming in, and I basically became target for bullying, and it never really stopped, from grade 2 all the way till grade 12. There was forms of bullying. I was always getting in fights, I was always getting beaten down, hit in the back of the head. I've even been hit with objects. It was a terrible, terrible time. And yeah, as I grew older, I started gaining a lot more weight because the only thing that was keeping me happy at the time was eating and playing video games. So I would come home, I would eat a lot of food, and then sit down and play video games. And as the years went by, I started feeling a lot less like myself. I used to be this very happy-go-lucky, always out, always laughing, always having fun kid to sitting in my room not wanting to talk to anyone. In the worst part of my mental health, I was basically isolating myself to a bed for 12 to 14 hours a day, sleeping, because I didn't want to deal with the world. I didn't want to be alive. I just wanted to, I just didn't want to deal with the day, so I slept for 14 hours and spent the rest of the time playing video games or on Twitch. And that's basically... I've tried a multitude of different methods in the past to cure it, so to speak, whether it be whether it be whether it be therapy or medication or whatever it was. I from like age 15 I was talking to therapists and psychologists, and all they were more concerned about was finding the root of where the depression came from, more so than than helping me deal with it. I got to my worst point when I met this girl when I was probably around age 15. So it was like when I was just discovering that I had been suffering from depression since age 10. I had been suffering with it for 5 years at that point, and it was just becoming more prevalent and worse. And at first this girl seemed really nice. We got along well, we were talking all the time, flirting, getting along really well. And then it started getting kind of serious, and I started falling for her really, really badly. And she would lead me on for as long as I could, as long as she could. And then as soon as it got real, and it was like at one point we even were going on dates and making out at dates and stuff, and then she would push away and just distance herself for weeks and months on end, and then come back like nothing happened. And this cycle went on for about 4 years at this point. So by the time I had worked out that she was doing this, and that it was causing me to spiral down and out of control, it was already too late, and I was in the darkest hole I could possibly be in. I was considering suicide every single day. As I said, I tried to drown myself 6 times in that 1.5-year span. And Twitch really helped me out through that entire period, because I had started, I was able to be myself behind a screen name, and people weren't judging me by my looks, by any of that stuff. Like, other than the fact that my name was Tubby King, no one knew that I was fat. I mean, they could assume from the name, but they didn't know anything. They treated me like a person, and for a long time that was the only place that I felt safe. And it wasn't until I came across a stream known as Miss Ella Cronin. I was watching Brown Man, who was Ray from Achievement Hunter. I'm sure everyone knows who Brown Man is at this point. he was hosting, or he was raiding her. I was watching his stream, and then he decided to raid her at the end, and he was just said it as a joke or something. He's like, "Hey, go check this girl out. She looks like Emma Watson." And I had just woken up. I only caught like the last 10 minutes of his stream, and I'm like, you know what? I feel like watching Twitch. No one else that follows on. I may as well go check this girl out. If she really does look like Emma Watson, that'll be really funny. And then I stuck around for a little bit, and in like the first 5 minutes, I immediately like latched on to that community. The chat there was just so awesome. Her personality was just so unbelievably amazing. Like, most of the time when I watch Twitch, I would only lurk. I would never talk in anyone's chat. In the first 5 minutes that I was in her stream, I wanted to say hi. I don't know what happened, something clicked, and I wanted to say hi. And as soon as I said something, I felt really welcome. Like, everyone was talking to me. Even the streamer was talking to me, which was something I hadn't experienced at that point, because I was always watching bigger streamers who weren't able to catch my messages all the time in chat. This time, her chat was small enough so that she could read every message, and she read every single one of my messages and always responded with like the most warm, kind-hearted responses. And I felt part of the family of that chat, and I was only in there for 10 minutes at the time. And because it was right around the time that I was waking up from my 14-hour sleeps, when I was like in the worst state, I would go into her chat because it would be right as she was starting, so I'd be able to catch most of the stream. And every time I came back, I felt more welcome than I was the last time, and I felt more involved in the chat. The more I was there, the more I was speaking, which at the time was strange because I had never spoken in anyone's chat before that. Well, more than like a couple of sentences to follow along with a joke, or if I knew someone in the chat, I would interact with them personally, but I would never like speak to the streamer or the chat. This is the first time that I actually opened up, and I felt so welcome. Her chat and herself helped me, be comfortable with myself again. Actually start feeling good about myself, feeling like I had a place in the world, feeling welcomed, and sorry, I'm getting a bit choked up. But yeah, that's someplace that was like really needed at that point. Like, they, without even knowing that they were doing it, they helped me out of the darkest hole I could have ever been dug into, and they helped me through the toughest period in my life. They got me through the suicidal attempt period of my life. They helped me grow. Even to this day, I can go in there and have not been able to make it in there for 6 months. I can still go in there and everyone will welcome me like I was there yesterday. And that community is a place that I will always call home, even if I can't go there every single day, because they helped me through so much. And yeah, I have tried turning streaming into a place like that. So anyone who has come in and wants a place to feel safe, wants a place where people feel like they're welcome and loved, that's what my aim for this community has been. And it's been bumpy along the way, but I feel like we're finally getting to that point. And I just want to thank all of you for everything that you've done throughout the entire 2.5-ish years that we've been doing this, because if it weren't for you guys, and if it weren't for Miss Alacronin and all of Twitch altogether, I probably wouldn't be here today. And that's a scary thought, to think that just a year ago I was falling back into that dark place. I had did the same thing that I promised I would never do, and I fell hard for someone who didn't like me back, and I let it get to me, and I started falling back into that dark place. And if it wasn't for this chat and you guys giving me the love to climb back out and actually get my life in order, who knows where I would be now. So it's been 12 hours of amazing mental health streaming awareness to bring awareness to a mental health issue that is plaguing the world. And the reason I chose this organization to donate money to, and I'm glad that we saved some money, is they target directly to gamers, and have amazing resources for people with mental health with gaming. I suggest checking out Checkpoint Organization if you haven't. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap the stream up here because it's been 12 hours of amazing goodness, and I'm just trying to get my headphones working again. But yeah, I'm gonna go to bed before I break out in tears. Much love, guys. Stay awesome. I can't get the music to work. Is it working now? It's not. Okay, I can't get the music to work for some reason. So, without further ado, much love, guys. Stay awesome. Bye, 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 bye. Bye!